What's up, y'all? You are now tuned in to another episode of A Piece of Advice podcast. You are here with your favorite hostess, Ladur, and we have a special guest for you today, Tiana.
Hi, everybody.
Now, now, before we get into the episode, this, as y'all may know, and most of y'all may not, this is my bestest friend for over 17 years. No minor fallouts, no breaks in our relationship, just consistently glowing and growing, and sometimes not. Like, we're going to get into it today. So, one of the biggest things that I feel like we have went through in our relationship, just personally, together, and just overall, is the simple fact of healing and shifting our thoughts. You know, as best friends, you always sit there and share your thoughts about, I have this dream, I have that dream, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's a big difference between always verbalizing your dreams and then actually putting action behind it. And I can say proud motherfucking thing. Till this day, for every thought that we have had, we have put action behind. Sometimes you tried to action it before it was ready and it never worked because that was just not the plan. And sometimes, and every time, actually, I should say, it just aligned. So last week, we pretty much spoke about the simple fact of, or just like, in the previous weeks, we've been speaking about, how to overcome the failure on your healing journey, because a lot of the times you may backslide in just old habits and the transition between the who you are now, the who you were then, the who you're becoming, and just knowing that it's your time to actually start healing and just diverting and progressing in that type of direction. So for us today, I think that a good topic would just really be, how to shift your mindset, because from where we were back in high school to where we are now. High school is a pretty much like a what, 16, 17.
Yeah,
We're 30.
32.
No, well, we don't look like it because black don't crack. It don't never crack. Not this. So, I think that a good topic for us would really be just like shifting our mindset and actively healing and actually accomplishing things that we want to do. So for you, I know that one of our common traits is just ADHD undiagnosed. We get overwhelmed easily. We don't have much patience. I think I have a little bit more than before, but not enough to be substantial or sustain. But yeah, like how or what are ways that you have shifted your mindset in order to now or be able to achieve the things that you have achieved? Because you have achieved a lot. I'm not sure if you see it or not, but you were able to launch a hair band, sold out, people love it. Till this day, they're literally still, when are you dropping? When are you dropping? Me. They don't even know the behind the scenes work that's going into it. Like, I'm making it even better because there's so much artificial out in the market. I'm making sure I'm giving you guys the best version of everything, but that may just be me slipping up and giving a little. So stay tuned.
I feel like you're definitely right. Like, just getting overwhelmed. I feel like, I get overwhelmed with all the ideas that I have. And I feel like I have to kind of be aware, like just self-aware sometimes, knowing like, okay, what can we accomplish right now? What are realistic goals? Something I recently learned, SMART goals. What are your SMART goals? Let's be realistic here. But I do feel like just one of the ways I've shifted my mindset is not to look out at the outside competition and not to worry about what other like big brands, not anyone, I feel like I love small businesses and I just love other people doing that. But it was these big brands.
Anyone in your niche.
Yeah, anyone in my niche. Yeah. So there were things that I feel like from big corporations that were just stolen from me. And other things that I saw that were done that I also had the same idea. So I feel like just knowing, just the confidence, shifting your mind into like not getting rid of the self-doubt in your mind and not overthinking what your purpose is or not overthinking what you want to do, and just know that whatever is meant for you is meant for you. I feel like whenever you get an idea, well, whatever you believe in, whether that's God giving you that idea or the universe planting that idea in your head, there the idea is there for a reason. You are supposed to step out in that purpose and be confident in that, and don't let any outside noise, affect the way that you look at yourself. So I feel like just seeing a lot of things that I wanted to do by big corporations, it did bring in self-doubt. But at the end of the day, I feel like discipline would definitely got me where I am today. And even though a lot came from self-doubt, it transitioned into an overall rebrand. I'm like, okay, that brought back my self-confidence, and just thinking of, okay, so this is what they're doing, what's going to set me apart from the rest. And it was just turned into full overdrive at that moment, because it's like, I know who I am. Like, it was like a reminder, like,
Don't get lost in the hype.
yeah, like, don't you know who you are, that what your purpose is, and what your plan is, and it's meant for you, and that is going to be what the world needs, whether you might get anxious or just lack of confidence there. So I felt like just that it transitioned into just this drive, this overly confident, it just transitioned my mindset into not not self-sabotaging either, because I feel like
clock it
that you that self-doubt traps in, and then you start to do certain things that self-sabotages
makes
your
you more
plan.
comfortable.
But I feel like just taking that and not taking it as like, competition or anything, just because it's room for everybody to do everything. But it was just like, I don't want to do what you're doing. I want to do what I want to do, and I don't want it to be exactly like the rest. So it was just transitioning that self-doubt a few years ago, and it transitioned to this confidence, this force where I just know, like, okay, like, that was that feeling then. Now I feel this way. And I feel like that transition, to just being confident and disciplined. I feel like I've grown way more disciplined since then. And I feel like once you transition your mindset and you try to, be more disciplined, I feel like that just trickles into everything that you do. So
I also feel like in this era of when you're doing all those things, that it requires a lot of sacrifice. So in addition to having an all natural, and I mean all natural hair care brand, there's not one ingredient that you cannot understand, you can't read or anything. And for the brand that she has and that she is rebranding, but in addition to that, with Trump in office, not saying I'm a Trump supporter or I'm not, I'm just saying all in general, like when it comes to politics, a lot of people actually do not know the laws. And she is an extreme advocate and an extreme just expert in knowing consumer law. So the testimonies that she has as far as what she's been able to do, things she's done, and just like these past couple years of her progress, of she can show hard facts of where she started and where she's been. And maybe we will offer another episode for all of the detailed work of that, just because it is important knowledge, and it is a passion that she has to get that information out there. But you have to not only be willing to listen, but actually want to do the work, because like I said before, faith without work is dead, and without putting in work, there's no actual results. With all of that, do the same mind shifts apply, or did you have to do something a little bit more because we have another best friend who thinks very differently, and she has to see results before she gets on it? Then you have me, who I'm very in the middle. You tell me something and I take your word as Bible just because you are that person to me and you are that close to me. I don't need to do anything outside of that. You would never hurt me. So is there anything in addition that you feel like you had to shift in your mindset, for the fact of, even outside of just us, just your most immediate people and everybody else, that they just don't understand? And that's okay. But this is the right decision for me.
I had to really shift. I really had to take a real isolation stage, because I felt like no, like you said, like no one was going to understand. But in order for me to be disciplined within that space for my business, I had to educate myself on these laws
Mm-hmm.
so that I can structure my business a specific way that it is more beneficial to me. And I just feel like in the past, when I first launched, it was impulse. It was off of impulse. And I feel like that helped that helped add on the discipline, and it helped shift my mindset. I'm still confident, but I don't know how to explain it. Like
All right, so
I'm
talk. So
just
talk with me. We talk through it.
yeah,
What
like
is the feeling that you feel? Like, what's the first word that comes to mind when you sit there and you? This is what I had to do. What's the first word that comes to mind? Don't overthink it. Just off the tongue.
force. Like that's the first word.
Okay.
It's
So you
like
had the
you
passion for
first
it. You had
was
the drive. You had the ambition.
yes.
And then what allowed you to keep doing it? Because it took many, many nights. It took staying up. You had to work. You had to still work on your brand, and then you still had to do this. And this type of segment and this type of subject takes a lot of reading. It takes a lot of dedication. So outside of the ambition, what's that other feeling?
It is it's comfort because I feel comfort in learning this information regardless of the stress that it brings me comfort knowing
Because
that
you
I
know
know
that you're
this.
right.
Yeah, like I
Okay.
know that I'm right. I know this information. I know this will bring generational wealth. I know that this would make my business grow. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of these things bring comfort to me because again, it transitioned. Like there was a few years ago during when the pandemic first started, that's where the self-doubt started to creep in. So it transitioned that. I feel like knowledge is everything. So I feel like all of that transitioned my mindset and from, having self-doubt and not feeling as confident into now feeling the most confident I've probably ever feel. So I
Well,
feel like a force because I feel like
yeah, you can't fuck with me.
I've done not only master my mindset, but everything else that contributes to doing that. So
And all
yeah.
in all, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. You heard it here first. So, all in all, if there's advice you had to give to anyone that is that they want to do something so bad they don't know where to start, what's the first thing that I can start with? Or you have a business and you're trying to grow it, or just what is a piece of advice that you would give to them?
I would say knowledge is everything. Don't ever stop learning about your craft. Don't ever stop trying to grow and just learn as much as possible because you can just start something, but you have to have the knowledge behind that. So I feel like knowledge is everything. Just always be in a space to learn and receive information. And yeah,
Okay.
that's
My piece of advice would really just be to believe in yourself. I think once you actually start 100%, like 10,000% believing in yourself, nothing everyone says or anyone says actually matters. Like, the one thing that I've been told is that I was crazy I think I've been hearing that since I was born. And everything that I've done that's ever made a statement or mattered since I was born always made sense to everybody else years later. Like, years later. People love hearing me speak now. They love when I share my wisdom or share my experiences with them. But you know where that stemmed from? It stemmed from, yo, she's bugged. Like, she's crazy. Yeah, okay. I was so crazy that I did the thing that you thought could not be done because you were so stuck in wherever you were, that look, I made it actually happen. And look, it inspired you for something else. Because I think one thing that we both can say is there's so many ideas that we've had, we've shared, we're about to do, we're going to do, we're going to do it. Other people's have heard it because we sat there and just trusted people with information, and they sat there, they took it, they ran with it, and now look how successful they are and what it is that they're doing. You understand? And I think that once you actually believe in yourself, that's all that matters, because that drive, that stride, that ambition, that passion that comes behind when you just believe in yourself is what really reaps the rewards. When you're doing it and you're looking for just one thing, you cannot see the progress that you're making because you're looking for it too hard and you're judging it on a different scale. You're judging it on 100% that you can't see the 20. That's just not how it goes. So once you actually believe in yourself and you sit there and you learn about what you're doing, don't do things blindly, just like she said. So I definitely agree with the advice that you're giving, because you don't jump into anything blindly. A passion is a passion. It's a passion project if you're not putting knowledge behind it. Something that you're passionate about, you put in the knowledge, is something that you're really trying to nurture and allow it to grow. With that said, thank you for tuning in to another episode of A Piece of Advice. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you next week. Later, babes.